Welcome to your next lesson on choosing your wedding gown. In this lesson, we'll talk about the different types of silhouettes, necklines, sleeve length, waistlines, dress length, train length, and my favorite stores as well as some budget options. So let's begin. Did you know that 80% of brides choose to wear a white wedding gown on their wedding day? The first step to finding the perfect wedding gown is to determine your silhouette. Generally, most women fit into one of 5 categories when it comes to silhouettes. If you have an hourglass silhouette, that means you have a full bust and hips with waist definition. If you are a triangle or pear shape, this means your hips are wider than your shoulders and/or your bust. If your shoulders, bust, and hips are about the same size and your waist isn't much smaller, then you have a rectangle or straight athletic silhouette. Now, if you have a full bust and hips without any waist definition, you have what's called a round or apple-shaped silhouette. And lastly, if your shoulders or bust are larger than your hips, you have what's called an inverted triangle silhouette. So now let's talk about what dress looks best on which type of silhouette. If you have any one of the 5 different silhouettes, you can wear an A-line or empire dress. They flatter all body types. If you have a triangle or hourglass shape, a mermaid dress looks best on you. If you have a triangle, rectangle, inverted triangle, or an hourglass shape, ball gowns look best on you. And if you have an hourglass or rectangle shaped silhouette, sheath dresses look the best on your body type. Now let's take a closer look at those 5 different types of wedding dress styles. A sheath wedding gown has a narrow shape that flows straight down from the neckline to the hem. This type of dress is ideal for lean frames such as petites and rectangles. It also looks good on hourglasses who are willing to show off their curves. It is not good, however, for pear or triangle shapes, as sheath dresses accentuate extra inches and can be unflattering. An A-line wedding gown has a fitted bodice through the waist and flows out to the ground, resembling the outline of an uppercase A, and is ideal for all body types. Next, we have the mermaid and trumpet wedding gowns. And believe it or not, there is a slight difference between the two. As you can see at the first picture, the mermaid style is fitted on the body from the chest to the knee, then flares out close to the knee. This type of dress is ideal for slender frames and hourglass body types who are willing to show off their curves. It is not good for apples and plus-size type bodies. Then the next picture you can see is the trumpet style, and the trumpet dresses are fitted through the body and flare through the mid-thigh. The cut is between a modified A-line and a mermaid cut. It is ideal for frames with small waists, such as hourglasses and petites, and is good for pears and apples, as it accentuates stomach and hip areas. Next, we have ball gowns, or the fairy tale dress with a fitted bodice that flares at the waist with a full skirt. This style is ideal for most body types, but looks great on pears since it hides the lower body. It is not good, however, for petites, as the skirt can be overwhelming on a small frame. And last but not least, we have the empire wedding gown. It's a Victorian style of gown that features a fitted bodice with a skirt that starts right at the base of the chest and hangs down in a straight, slim line to the floor. So by now, I hope you've gotten a little more information about your type of silhouette and some dresses that will best fit you, now let's go over necklines. The 16 most popular types of necklines when it comes to your wedding dress are bateau, illusion, straight, high neck, spaghetti strap, scoop, cowl, Queen Anne, jewel, halter strap, V-neck, halter, Sabrina, sweetheart, square, and asymmetric. Now let's go over the different sleeve lengths available for your wedding dress. Sleeves or no sleeves? That is the question. When it comes to sleeves on your wedding gown, you have about 6 different options. First, they're strapless, meaning there are no sleeves. Then you have spaghetti straps, caps, short sleeves, 3/4 sleeves, and long. Now, if there weren't enough choices already, let's go over the different type of waistlines available. An empire waist is fitted at the chest and has a raised waistline that sits just below the bust, from which the rest of the dress flows down to the hem. It's a very romantic look and one favored by pregnant brides and bridesmaids. A basque waist goes downwards in the form of a V or a U shape. It sits just beneath the medium waistline, also known as the natural waist, or sits much lower and creates the illusion of a smaller waist. A dropped waistline goes below the medium waistline at the mid of the hip, which creates a longer bodice and a shorter skirt. A natural waistline is where the seam of the waistline marks the separation between the rib cage and the hips. It is the most popular waistline for wedding dresses. Asymmetrical waistlines run across the body diagonally and changes in height from one side of the dress to the other. The position of the waistline and the steepness of the asymmetric waistline varies. The asymmetric waistline creates a dramatic feature around the waist and the hip area. Now let's take a moment to talk about your dress's length. In order from shortest to longest, first you have knee length, then T length, ballerina, high-low length, ankle length, and the most popular, floor length. And since we're talking about length, let's go over the length of your train. Here you'll see 6 most popular types of train lengths. First, you have the brush or the sweep train, which barely brushes the floor. The court train goes about 1 foot out past your dress. The chapel would go about 3 feet out past your dress. A semi-cathedral would go about 4 or 5 feet. A cathedral, 6 feet. And a royal, 10 feet. So, what's trending in wedding gowns right now, you asked? Well, second wedding dresses, black accents on your dress, extravagant capes, lace capes and sheer capes, as well as sleeved silhouettes. Now I'd like to share with you some of my favorite places to shop for wedding gowns for every style, size, and budget. Beholden, Nordstrom's, Etsy, Lulu's, David's Bridal, ASOS, Rent the Runway, and Kiona. Here's some tips for finding the perfect wedding gown. First things first, Know what works for your body type. You should go what is flattering for your figure, not what looks good in this magazine, because remember, they're going to look different on a model. And if you nail this, then shopping for a dress will be one of the easiest tasks. Also, make sure you narrow your choices down by style. Look into deals and discounts. And you're going to want to make sure that you take into consideration the season you're getting married. A ball gown will be a nightmare and too heavy for a beach wedding, and a sheath dress may be too chilly for a winter wonderland themed wedding. And remember, this is your day. It's always okay to fall in love with the first dress. If you know exactly what it is you want and you select that style and it's the first one you try on and you love it, you may not need to try on another dress. So that's going to do it for this lesson. I hope with all the information you now have that you are well equipped to find your perfect wedding gown. And I know that not everyone has someone to help them shop for their dress. And if this is your case, please feel free to email me or send me a message on Facebook with your pictures, and I'd be honored to help you choose the one that looks best on you. And that goes for anyone who might want a professional opinion. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next lesson.